Hi Maria, it's Mike Bovier, City Service Paving. Hey, I'm out here at California Heritage, and I thought I'd do a video message to you and show you what I'm looking at so you can get a good understanding of how I see things. So let me show you what I'm looking at. So right here you can see these areas where the seal coat is coming off the existing pavement surface. And as I get closer, you can actually, I'll try to peel this up. You can actually see me peel up the old seal coat. And what this is, it's old seal coat bonding to old asphalt. And as asphalt gets older, it's harder for seal coat to bond to it, and it loses its adhesion and it just starts to come apart. So overall though, the property is 22 years old and it's in actually good shape. You got some cracking going on here and there, but it's not too bad. Nothing that really stands out as far as repairs go, but since it is 22 years old, asphalt has a typical lifespan of about 25 to 35 years before you'd have to do a major rehabilitation, like either a full removal and replacement or an overlay. And this property is an ideal candidate for an overlay. So as you can see, just walking through the neighborhood here, through a portion of the streets, they all look pretty consistent. There's some small cracking going on, but nothing that's wide enough that I would recommend for crack fill. Like these are just kind of hairline cracks. You want to, anytime you do crack fill, you want to do cracks that are about 1/4 inch wide or wider. These are getting there, but still nothing major. So my recommendation for this property is really to kind of wait and see how it looks after a few more years. But I would really prep the board to consider an overlay for this property, meaning asphalt on top of the existing asphalt at about 2 inches. What we would do is we'd mill down the edges here where the asphalt meets the concrete. We'd mill it down 2 inches at the concrete where it meets the concrete, and then taper it out to nothing in a 4-foot span. So when you do put the overlay on, or 2 inches of asphalt, you would have a full 2-inch thickness all the way from the concrete transition to the other side. It'd be a full 2 inches. You're not tapering down the asphalt. And then as far as the manholes or the utility lids here, they make riser rings that are like 2 inches that you take the lid off, you put this ring on, it raises it up, and then you put the lid back on top of it. So all the utility lids would be raised. This one probably would have to be jackhammered out and raised by hand, but the water lids, they do make them for riser rings for those. And then all the blue reflectors would be replaced as well. So at this point, I really wouldn't do anything. You still have seal coat material on it, even though it's peeling off at some places, like right here, it's peeling off. But for the most part, it's in really good shape for 22 years old. I looked it up on Zillow when this place was built, and that tells me usually how old the asphalt is. So the buildings are 22 years old. Typically the asphalt's about 22 years old. And how you can tell it really doesn't need seal coating is it's still consistently black. It's not faded very much. There are a few spots that are faded, but it's not too bad. If you really wanted to do a seal coat and just dress the place up, if that's all they're looking to do, I would just do a 1-coat seal, because again, the seal is starting to peel up. Like here's a good spot right here where it's peeling up. That's just seal coat material. That's not the asphalt. So if you put a seal coat on this property, any of the areas that are peeling up will take the new material with it. So it's nothing that we did, doesn't matter who does it. If the old material comes apart, it's going to take the new material with it. But overall, the property is in really good shape. I wouldn't do anything at this point, even though it is peeling here and there. Like here's another spot. So again, if they wanted to spend the money just to give it a cosmetic look, I'd do a one coat seal. Other than that, I would start saving up for an overlay in about 5 years. That would put new asphalt throughout the entire property and make it all look brand new again. And again, like I say, there's a few faded spots, but it's not too bad. I like to let people know what their options are, and that's what I would recommend. I honestly would recommend waiting at least a couple years, if not 5 years. Let it fade, let it get blotchy, let the material blotch and stuff. That's okay. It's not a bad thing to do. It doesn't hurt the asphalt at all. Just the appearance isn't as good as you would probably like it, but it doesn't harm anything. So again, to recap, I would wait at least 2 to 3, if not 5 years, and see how it holds up. It will fade, it will get a little blotchy, it will get a little uglier, but what I really recommend is getting the board to start considering an overlay in the next 2 to 5 years. I'm not sure where they're at in the reserve study. Typically, whatever the square footage is here, it's about $2 to $3 a square foot to do an overlay here, and I could help with that. And if they can only do so much, we could phase it in over time. Those are options too. Doing an overlay like half the property 1 year and half the property the next, or do it over a 3-year period, whatever makes sense and whatever fits within their budget. But I'd be happy to help you with that. So that's what I recommend. I wouldn't do anything at this point unless they wanted to just make it look black and dress it up a little bit. I wouldn't put any crack fill in. I wouldn't do any of that. The cracks that they have now are not wide enough to justify crack fill. So I would just do a seal coat, and I would do a 1-coat seal coat. I wouldn't put 2 coats on here. It doesn't need it. You do still have material throughout the property here, that you still have seal coat material throughout the property here. So if they want to 1-coat it and restripe it, it would look better. But at this point, I would say save their money and save up for the overlay. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Cell phone is 510-754-5198. I'll talk to you soon.